It took me a while to get around to seeing the first Shazam movie. I thought it would be just for kids, so I didn't watch it until it came on TV a few months ago. And I was pleasantly surprised. It was a lot more enjoyable than most of the recent DC Universe movies. Just a good old-fashioned 80s style slice of family fun. So now that the sequel is out, and the original is still fresh in my mind, I thought I'd give it a watch. Much of the appeal of the first movie was the wish fulfillment factor of an ordinary teenage boy who turns into a superhero, and the contrast between his two lives. But in this movie he stays in his superhero form for about 90% of the runtime, which feels like a mistake. The movie implies that Billy might have become addicted to being a superhero and has lost interest in his everyday life. But there is no resolution to this, and in the end it seems like he's just going to carry on like this forever, which is quite unsatisfying. It doesn't help that Zachary Levi is giving the same kind of goofy performance that he did in the first movie, which might have been appropriate for a 12-year-old in an adult body, but it doesn't feel right in this one, when his real self is nearly 18. Billy's foster family all got the same powers at the end of the last movie, and this movie does a decent job of showing how they're all dealing with the consequences. In particular, Freddy probably gets more screen time than Billy does in the movie, at least in his regular human form. You would expect him to be the one who's addicted to having a superhero alter ego, as he's still being continually bullied in his regular life. But they don't go down that route, which I guess is a good thing. And Mary wants to go to college, but can't, as it would involve moving away from her superhero family. But again, that conflict is not resolved by the end of the movie. Also, one of the family comes out as gay, in a charming scene which makes a mockery of Marvel's heavy-handed attempts to introduce gay characters. Frankly, there's probably a few too many family members to keep track of. With 6 kids and 6 superhero alter egos, it's really more the size of cast you would expect from a TV series rather than a movie. They could have easily lost 1 or 2 of them before making the first movie. The villains in this movie are a refreshingly different gang than you would usually get in these kinds of movies. Helen Mirren as Hespera is unsurprisingly the finest performance in the movie. She's done a few Fast and Furious movies before, so she's no stranger to the blockbuster. But this is the first superhero role she's taken, and she certainly brings an edge of class to the production. Lucy Liu as Calypso is another fine performer, but for plot reasons her character has to be a lot more one-dimensional than Helen Mirren's character in order to keep the threat going. And Rachel Zegler makes up the trio as Anthea. She has a great screen presence, and you can definitely see her being a star of the future. Though I did spend the whole movie thinking that she was Olivia Rodrigo. I guess all the kids born this century look the same to me. There are plenty of good action scenes. The big set piece of the bridge collapse is a standout. It's the sort of big disaster sequence you've already seen in Spider-Man and X-Men movies. But the twist here is that these guys are completely unsuited to dealing with it. And though they don't actually kill anyone, they are hilariously bad at keeping the bridge from falling apart. Later on there are hordes of mythical creatures rampaging through the streets for them to battle, which goes on for what feels like an indecent amount of time. But this is the sort of thing that the kids watching will like, so I guess I'm not really the target audience for that. The first film stayed rather coy about its links to the bigger DC universe, bringing in Superman but only showing him from the neck down. This one does something similar with another member of the Justice League in a hilarious dream sequence, but then they do end up appearing in person towards the end. And 2 of James Gunn's favourite characters show up in the mid-credit scene, setting things up for what may happen in the next batch of DC movies, and suggesting that the upcoming Flash movie might not reset the entire universe, as people have theorised. Overall though, it's not a great movie. It's entertaining enough on a surface level, with plenty of humour and action scenes, but there's far too many characters to follow, and the human element from the first movie is sadly lacking. I don't know if they're planning a 3rd movie, but I won't be rushing to the cinema to see it. Thanks for watching. My next movie review should be Dungeons and Dragons, so watch out for that in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, you could watch one of my other movie reviews. Or press subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.